So, even the gods are an Engwithan lie. Was Engwith peopled entirely by tricksters and liars? For thousands of years, the Engwithan lie clouded our sight. How can we claim there is no other way when we never had the opportunity to discover one? There are answers out there still, in places we've never thought to look, perhaps. If I could believe again all that I believed when I left Rauatai, there's a theory puts my boldest to shame. But we ourselves have seen the gods' influence, all that has come since. If the gods were not real then, perhaps they are now. Real enough to inspire, but that's not... Is that the truth we've come for? That even the gods are false? You cannot mean that. Think what truths we have uncovered. All the answers we sought. It was hard at times, but it was honest. The things we have seen, the stories we will tell. If there is truly nothing real in this world but that, I am still content. She speaks as if it were a cruel truth, but think on it, my friend. All this time, all that power, Engwith did that. Kith did that. Conjured gods from nothing. All of us across Aora are trying to survive, to make sense of the world. What could better bind us together than that struggle? You have it wrong. The best stories are often lies, but they teach us something all the same. Let aspirations and dreams bind us rather than fear. Already, we have built upon that thread and made a tapestry. Would you unravel it? Don't look to me. Perhaps nothing binds us. Rauatai tears itself in two, clutching after truth. And I wish I could have sated my hunger for truth in the halls of the Lore College. I don't know. I never found the answers I sought. But across every nation, the same gods hold sway. Something in the lie spoke to all of us. There is power in that, whatever else divides us. I don't know. I never found the answers I sought. But after all we have seen, I think the gods are not enough. Perhaps the threads are unraveling. The lie is too old. I think maybe we are all meant to be divided. Every effort, every search for a single truth will end in failure, because there is no single truth. We seek simple answers where there are none, and perhaps we just need new stories in these new times. Some new lie to bring us all together again. We'll find our own truths. Make them if we must. We don't need an ancient lie to bolster us. United, the Engwithans created gods, mortal men and women coming together to do the impossible. Let us surpass them. I thought your people had much to teach us. That we too could create great machines, improve our ships, make an empire as vast and impressive as yours ever was, built upon your secrets. I did. But it turns out that doesn't matter, you see. I'll bring these secrets home and set them before 1,000 eyes and ears. I don't care if it takes 100 years. We'll figure it out. I know better. The Engwithans weren't an infallible race. You were never gods. All your petty experiments, your heinous crimes, your glorious achievements. You were just people, and your time came and went. Engwith is a lesson now, for those who remain. I thought your people had much to teach us, as they have. They have taught me a much-needed lesson. No knowledge is worth the suffering that the Engwithans brought upon others, because I believe we can learn from the past and use that knowledge to better ourselves. I wanted Rauatai to surpass the Engwithans, build upon what they knew. It may be so, but I'll keep trying. I can't think of a better way to spend my life than trying to understand the world around me. I don't need to understand. I've seen what's become of your people. That's all the lesson I need. All those lifetimes, spent to preserve a single vital secret. I can't imagine having that much certainty. Was there nothing there worth saving? Forgive me. I know you chose wisely. All those lifetimes spent to preserve a single vital secret. I would expect a man to reconsider his choices after the first 500 years, an end to doubt and certainty alike. I wonder, Aloth, don't you ever feel curious about Isilmir's history? But think of the opportunities! You could learn so much about the past. That's right. Between the six of us, I don't think the house has known a single day's quiet. Of course, a little chaos makes it far easier to get away with mischief. Does music sound different to you in your ears? Or, well, ear is another shape? Maybe your keen senses just haven't heard truly fine music yet. If you've the time, Heravius, I thought perhaps you could tell me a little about the Glenfarthyn perspective on the Engwithins. I promise not to comment. I'm a student of culture. It's hardly my place to judge. You're right. It's a very personal question. Let's drop the subject. Adair, you have said you fought in the Saints' War, but for which side? Your brother. Did you and he get along? And slew the ogre with one blow. What do you think? You must have seen some amazing sights on your way north. I'll grant you that animancy has had its failures, Balreach among them. But does that warrant attacks on innocent practitioners? Superstitious kith have spilled their share of blood. Come now, it'll be fun. So you really didn't know about the Leaden Key's activities? I often dreamed of visiting the republics. There, at least, the people value trade. What? No, I'm just wondering how the Leaden Key parcels out information. I did notice that the younger sorts didn't seem to wander off script very often. Tekoa may be more traditional, but it has its share of festivals. Drink a little wine, find someone to dance with? No, that's all true. I didn't mean anything by it. I imagine a man with a head made of fire and light could be very convincing. My own brothers and sisters are doing very well for themselves, back in Tekoa. I don't know that they'd search for me if I were killed so far from home. Have you ever looked up and felt a sudden surprise at where you are? I think it's just sunk in that I'm a year out from home. I'm sorry, it's just, when you started shouting, that poor man looked as if he'd piss himself. Rauatai is a unified nation, with fleeter ships. Someday it may prove a worthy competitor. Oh, I don't know. I never found much use in getting worked up over the little things. I wouldn't really know. I've never been to any of the Deadfire settlements, and my parents told me very little, mostly pirate. Sorry, I was only thinking. The eyeless face seems to hound my steps. They say he unravels mysteries as well as hides them, but I'm starting to doubt it. You never get frustrated? With all these riddles and obtuse prophecies? Just once, I'd like to get a clear answer. Would you prefer it if Nirawa were facing a Stelgar? While undressed? I haven't been further south than the Deerwood myself. Maybe I'll come back after I've convinced the Ranganui and see all those things for myself. I have to say, it's wonderful to have someone to debate with. You'd think they'd be more welcoming of it at the Law College. In Tekoa, we have a memorial for the Saints' War. They say a Rauatai artillery master contributed to the Godhammer bomb. I wondered, on second thought, I'll ask Adair. Even just a single— You don't usually grace me with your flattery, priest. What merits this attention? I'm content to remain a burr in your boots. But here, if you but stand on the docks, you can single-handedly ensure no one ever sails to the Deerwood again. On second thought, I'll ask anyone else. From time to time, my mother says she misses the quiet of her village, but little else. She has always pushed my sisters to do what she could not as a child. Really? Let's hear it. No, I'm afraid I can't say I've ever heard that particular tune. It is worth the journey north, I promise you. Especially now that the Gate of Great Teeth is finished. A labyrinth of towering spires, gleaming red in the sun. Less than I'd like. And that from old books and the occasional trader. Tales of noble families and famed inventors. The grand empire, now fallen. But the myths are beautiful, aren't they? Bold heroes whose descendants dared to cross the Great Eastern long before the Deerwood was a kernel of a thought. I've never been to Nasitok. Is it very cold? What creatures wander the tundra? How are your leaders chosen? Well, that's just to get us started. Let me get out some parchment for notes. Ah, the life of a traveler. So many ruins to uncover, places to see. It is true. You have been at it far longer than I. Where will you go next when you have all the world to choose from? What's there to tire of? There's always something new just on the horizon. I beg your pardon? Killing time, if I'm honest. I've already walked the perimeter twice. There are names scratched upon some of the bricks, just there. Workers and masons, I expect, carving a little immortality for themselves. It's a fine keep, Cadnua. 2 centuries to its name, and abandoned for nearly as long. Oh, hello again. Have you had much luck? I've catalogued quite the roster of names, but little else. But the truly interesting part is in there, and I haven't had much luck in reaching the keep itself. I hoped to find the master of this place, a man by the name of Meerwald, but it seems that he either holds his privacy most dear, or else has been devoured by his house guests. It is. Well, not the wall itself, perhaps. The construction is very traditional. There are names scratched upon some of the bricks, just there. Workers and masons, I expect, carving a little immortality for themselves. It's a fine keep, Cadnua. 2 centuries to its name, and abandoned for nearly as long. Oh, truly! Then perhaps we can help one another. The grounds are infested with all manner of beasts. I've never seen the like. I didn't want to risk it alone, but you seem capable. Together, I'm sure we could manage it. And then we can both ask our questions of Meerwald. I seek a great treasure, you see. Not gold or silver, but the Tanvi Oratoa. You might call it the Book of Virtues. It's a sacred text of the Rauatai, but we possess only a fragment of it. I seek a great treasure, you see. Not gold or silver, but the Tanvi Oratoa, the sacred book of our people, my friend. And it is there. Somewhere in there, at least, beneath the keep. Knowledge. Or, to be less clever about it, a certain text. I've come in search of a great treasure, you see. Not gold or silver, but the Tanvi Oratoa. You might call it the Book of Virtues. It's a sacred text of Rauatai, but we possess only a small fragment of it. A year I've journeyed in search of the rest, and I uncovered evidence that leads me to believe the original lies just there, beneath the keep. A watcher? Oh, you've spoken with spirits? There are many questions I would ask if I could do the same. Excellent. Lead on, my friend, and I will be at your heels. Ah, wait. Speaking of that, I ought to warn you first. Ondra's teeth, I nearly forgot. I have, at times, been followed. It began in Adir, and in Exometal they attacked outright. I believe they do not wish for me to find what I am looking for. Oh, I see. I understand. Well, I'll keep trying. Perhaps we'll meet again, and have different stories to tell. I wish you luck on your own journey. I say believe, but I've been told as much by one of my would-be assassins. I pay them little mind. Humorless sorts in long robes. But it's why I bought the sword, you see. And it's only fair that you should know. Well, it's not as if I'm going to turn around and go home at their urging. If their previous efforts are anything to go by, we have very little to worry about. I'm glad you're not discouraged. Come then. Who knows what we will find inside? As would I. The Deerwood is an exciting place, but a little strange sometimes. I hoped to find the master of this place, a man by the name of Meerwald, but I was told I am too late. I would as gladly speak with his successor. Is that you? It is. Well, not the wall itself, perhaps. The construction is very traditional. There are names scratched upon some of the bricks, just there. Workers and masons, I expect, carving a little immortality for themselves. It's a fine keep, Cadnua. 2 centuries to its name, and abandoned for nearly as long. Ah, hello again. I hope Cadnua treats you well. I've catalogued quite the roster of names, but little else. It's good to be on the road again. A wanderlust is nothing rare in the people of Rauatai, but often I think myself alone in loving the land as much as the sea. What shall we see next, I wonder? What shall I tell? I am Kana, born in the royal city of Tekoa, from which rules the Ranga Nui. There. That is a solemn enough start. I am a lore chanter in the college there, or at least a student of lore and a chanter both. I confess, I was hoping our meeting with Mayorwald would go a little differently, but then you have gained an entire keep. I don't think I've seen anyone inherit land that quickly since Kind the Younger read her father's will. Few others have dared step into the endless paths. Fewer still have come out again. What things we shall see. Mysterious figures and crumbling ruins. We've stepped into the very best of tales. Did you see anything back there? I saw you get that look on your face. You know, when you're listening to someone who isn't there. These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets. Perhaps Iovara did not have the final answer you sought. But still, she revealed much. Oh, we're so close to finding answers. I can feel it in my liver. Even the air smells different. We've come to the end of it, my friend. It has been an honor to walk this road with you, and I will regret our parting. Yes, my friend? Rauatai. Shall I describe the pearl-white sands, the sapphire waters, the multi-hued tiles of the rooftops, like a mosaic upon the coast? Sorry. The Tanvi Oratoa. It's not really a book. It's been passed down over the years in the form of a chant. I actually found it a little strange at first, seeing it set down in stone. I was on the usual path at first. Theology, the traditions, when the Gate of Great Teeth was completed. It was all my father had hoped for, the greatest commission he had ever received. All that time, dreaming of what the endless paths would be. I fashioned it into something grand in my thoughts. A hidden kingdom waiting under the earth for us to find it. What a fool I was. It will give you a base from which to go searching at least. And then, there are secrets beneath the keep yet. With you at the helm, it should be easier to explore the endless paths. It's not quite the same as a song of worship, though we have paeans to the gods as well. More a kind of moral guide. It gives us something to aspire to. The, model of a virtuous citizen of Rauatai. You'll see a few children nodding off in the middle, I grant you. But the chant is not something taken lightly. And two factions vie for the king's ear. There have been arguments as to the chant's true interpretation, new translations even. But any rendition of it I find in the ruins of Engwith will predate those translations by 2,000 years. And finding it here also proves that we still have much to gain from trading with other cultures. And I want to prove that all of this is worthwhile. Traveling, seeing the world for what it is. It's been so different from sitting in the chanter hall and studying books. I'd be lying if I said I'm not looking forward to seeing the look on everyone's faces when I get back. But in the long term, I just think that we can learn a lot from the Engwithians. A civilization like that is something to aspire to. A model for Rauatai as a whole, and not just its people. I don't know that the distinction is necessarily important. Rauatai has a long history, and our people have come from many different places. It matters less who wrote it than that I have found pieces of the verses all around the world, wherever it came from. It will be Rauatai that decides what becomes of it. All the races and peoples of our kingdom coming together to create a great empire. You see, then, that I am loyal, in my way. Doesn't everyone want to be a good citizen? We've been spared the civil wars and petty conflicts of our neighbors thus far. I'd rather it stay that way. Dutiful, learned, honest. The sticking point is loyal. Loyal to the people of Rauatai above all others. Fearless in their defense and bold in aspiration. Tireless in battle or industry. an inspiration to one's people. But it seems it's not that far a leap from there to the idea that we must cast out foreign influences. Much of Ingwith's writing is lost to us, but an engraving would survive. I found several tablets at the site in Exomitl. The scholar Gabranos, in particular, seems to have been fond of writing on the walls. I may have to ask you to help me carry it, if it's a large stone. What a mess. The Duke's death was, if you'll forgive me saying it, perfectly timed. Defiance Bay will be a long time recovering. We'd best keep moving. The city's boiling over, and if the crowd takes notice of us, there's a good chance we'll be next on the pyres. That shade, then, was the great Ardnua? Death, I know, can twist the soul, and yet I felt more sadness from him than anything else. More or less. It wasn't a popular theory when I suggested it. The idea that we shared the Tanvi Oratoha with some older culture, I mean. Doesn't mean it's not true. It doesn't help that my family is from the Deadfire Islands. If I had a copper pond for every chanter who suggested that it's just not in my nature to conquer. My siblings, my parents, they make up for it. They build walls and cannons and ships. I've tried to explain. It isn't that I think those things aren't necessary, but if Rauatai closes itself off from trade, turns on its own people over tradition, we will fall behind, and then we'll be the ones getting conquered. I think my father tries to understand at least, but it was also a sign that Rauatai was changing, looking inward. Meanwhile, I was neck-deep in the writing of a dozen nations, marveling at all the things that lay beyond our borders. There's a kind of weight here to the quiet. Don't you think? I'd call it portentous, only that seems silly. Tekoa is doubly famed, a royal city and home to the Coral Harbor. The Ranganui's palace is there, and we've a fleet of royal ships sitting outside the Gate of Great Teeth. Every so often, you'll hear the roar of a cannon being tested. Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor? They'll call you a dragon slayer now. A slayer of Audra dragons, no less. What a trophy it will make. What a tale, for that matter. Perhaps I'll compose a song about it. Here we are. To think we are so close. Beneath our very feet lie the endless paths built by Ardnua, the great Engwithan king. Well, up here this is all Adiran, of course, but should we descend far enough, we will find some real history. This can't be it, but the symbols... No, I was so close. Poor Mayorwald. He couldn't contend with all that he knew of himself. A cruel fate. To uncover that great king's tomb would be a dream. But it is one of his servants I am after, Gabranos, a powerful mage and a dedicated scholar, a keeper of lore, just as I mean to be. He was in possession of the Tanvi Oratoa, or whatever form of it preceded the one we know. I've seen it in ruins, alongside Gabranos' name, scraps of the same symbols and verses we know in Rauatai. He must have held the words in high regard. Or perhaps he was even the author. If my sources are correct, Gabranos will have brought the text with him. It will probably be within a library, or a tomb perhaps. It tends to be one of the two. Let's be off. Look, you can see, there's his name. And these symbols. Virtue. Oh, gods, the rest is too worn away. There must be something, a verse, even a word. Be like unto the waves, be wrathful as the sea, anything. Is there really nothing? Not even to explain this? This was Gabranos. This was the great scholar I was looking for. I can't believe it. All this time, I spent so many years at the Lore College, convinced I'd return and save the day. And here it is, the tablet. I might as well bring back an empty piece of parchment. There's no answer here. You know, there are accounts of watchers in all of the regions I've visited. If the adventuring life doesn't work out for you, you could always read souls for coin, give people advice. Tell them which family they're related to and whom they should duel for past offenses. You're a newcomer to the Deerwood as well. What do you make of it so far? I'm sorry if I was a little tactless before, about your being a watcher. I didn't really understand what was involved. Is it hard, hearing the spirits all the time? There's this work shanty I overheard the sailors singing from time to time, about a woman who gathers the names of the ones she loves, the crew, you see, and with them weaves each sailor a merry fate. Animancy seems to be the topic of the hour here. You've closer dealings with souls than I do. What do you think of it? Do you think a single man might change the course of destiny? Yes, following your lead. On your word. As you say. Right away, of course. Let's end this! For Takoa! Your tale ends here! Why did we stop? Did you see something? Must we linger here? So much waits over the horizon. I'll venture ahead. I'll head this expedition, if you're certain this isn't going as I hoped. Let's leave this part out of the story. Please help me here. Fight on, my friends. I can't go any further. I have failed. No, please, not yet. Bury me with my scrolls. I am not meant to die this way. I cannot keep up this pace. I think it may be time to strike up camp. We'll fare better if we get some sleep. We're down one! Fight on, my friends! They're cutting us down! No! Hang on! No! Adair has fallen! They've struck her down! Attend to the priest! The construct has fallen! Alof, get up! No! Someone tend to the Orlin! Sagani! We can't let her die here! What? Sorry. I was thinking up a song. What rhymes with Watcher? Have I told you the tale of the Kamoa warriors? 80 glorious verses. Verse 1. Wait! I've lost my notes! No, wait. They're in my pocket. This isn't working! I have them! Stand still! I'd gladly shoulder the load, but the pack won't hold anymore. I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet. Let's see what lies this way. Hello? Hello? Ow! Look well before you strike. The enemy is over that way. I am on your side. What's this? I think I see something. I'll give it a try, at least. Could we speak a moment? Let's trade words when you have the time. I'll be at the Black Hound. I'll wait at Cadnua then. I've been poisoned. This is all very distracting. I can do that. Sorry, can't do it. As requested. I'm stuck. We're done for. Safe travels. Ahulu Thin. Mowith Ixiana. Lavaru beyond seek. Brith Ulikna. Arthek, Worth and Roth. Craved Alfilathilim. Quethe Selmes Metum. Werde Bedan Ansawu. Croak 10! Sakrithu! Ixmaru! The construct has fallen! The construct has fallen! No, we've lost the devil! No, we've lost the devil! Stay strong, monk, we're coming! Stay strong, monk, we're coming! Zawa, don't give up! Sagani's hurt! Haravius, hang in there! Palagina's down! They got durance! They got durance! Someone help Alof! Adair, hang on! Maneha's down! No, Maneha! Whatever came before Whatever mysteries led us here, you can make your own meaning of all of this. Let them do the same. Our search brought us here. A hunt for truth that pulled like fate. Perhaps there's something to be said for mystery. But it is your choice, my friend. After all we've seen, I have to wonder if it isn't cruel returning them to what they were. We've seen what answers lay in store for them. What purpose can they find if none exists? Are you feeling unwell? You were behaving a little oddly. Bunin Iankyu and Ankyu Ibunin. Life in death and death in life. Magnificent. We've missed quite the bloody celebration, it seems. Oh, I like the fountain. I hope you aren't expecting to find the leaden key in here. I have trod more secret and sacred places in your company than I could have imagined. Look at all these books! I don't suppose we could stay here a while. A few repairs and this keep will be a sight to see. The keep's coming along nicely. That was bracing. Ooh, there's an odor that could sear the memories from your skull. The City of Defiance, crown jewel of the Deerwood. If you ask the locals, anyway. Luxurious furnishings, hostile stairs. Reminds me of the Lore College. A great many of these people died just this past year. Not of plague, I think. The dozens may not like us foreigners much, but they certainly don't mind taking our coin. Poor man. Another life lost to this forest. Clearly of Adiran make. They like their archways. This entire district smells like a tomb. What could have done this? Whatever beast comes upon us here will find us already cooked. I could while away hours in here, if we had the time, of course. Do we? I've a shiver, won't leave my spine. Look at that. A city to put all others to shame. And long lost. It seems the Deerwood sees its share of floodwaters. We'll have to go around. Ooh, this chill gets down into the bones. I wonder what's in there. Look, the statue. We've reached the very depths at last. Incredible. Solid Audra, hewn like marble. No, not carved. Shaped. Orlin, human. Oh, and some Hamawa bones. A dozen Adiran ships were shattered against these levees during the War of Defiance. Best to heed the astrologers, I find, where tides are concerned. The exiled queen. Let's hope that grim countenance bodes well. This must be the heart of it. I feel like I've been tossed into the winter sea. Best have a second tale at the ready. They're a nervous bunch. An impressive keep. But I doubt we'll be welcome inside. Look at this. This must have been a closed dome once. Let's go inside. My, that is large. Once more through the gates. With more success this time, I hope. Hello. Is everyone still there? Incredible. A divine contraption that I would dearly love to inspect. Aha! That's done it. And now we need only descend these treacherous steps into murky darkness. So, this is Twin Elms, home to the 6 tribes of Air Glonfoth, and some very good hides from what I hear. This would be the temple Merwald spoke of, or what remains of it. I'm sure you're an exception. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Are we the supporting cast in a revenge ballad now? They never make it to the final verse. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Are we the supporting cast in a revenge ballad now? They never make it to the final verse. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Are we the supporting cast in a revenge ballad now? They never make it to the final verse. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Are we the supporting cast in a revenge ballad now? They never make it to the final verse. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Are we the supporting cast in a revenge ballad now? They never make it to the final verse. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. Are we the supporting cast in a revenge ballad now? They never make it to the final verse. Yes, well, if we could all keep our teeth to ourselves. A reward, she says, for getting into the battery. That's a reward of its own, surely. Oh, just think! The greatest of the dwarven strongholds, ours to explore! Yes, of course we'll— Wait, what? But it's Durgan's battery. Never mind the mines. Think of the artifacts we could find! Zawa, how is it the Nalpazka are so untroubled by ridicule or self-doubt? Can such techniques be taught? That's ridiculous. I've always been an attentive student. I have 3 degrees. It may be a little ungainly, but it's— Oh, I see now. I still can't believe the tablet is truly gone. Years of study, only to find a little pile of stones. Well, now, that's not quite— I mean, we did learn more about the Engwithins than just about anyone else alive. Every piece of evidence pointed to that tablet, and now it is out of reach forever. North and home again? Just getting into the mountain spirit. I'll keep it to a hum, if you like. You know, I'm not certain. It's good as breathing now. Perhaps my mother sang one too many hymns over her belly. Do you recall any songs from your life before? In Coldmorn, I mean. Come on then, let's hear one. There is power in shared history. The Watcher is proof of that much. He wasn't my monster. Did it help? I'm only curious. I wasn't expecting Harmka to walk away from that. I'd best keep quiet then. Look at those carvings. Let's have some skewers while we're here. Well, at least they're not devouring one another. Anyone fancy a dip? An argument I've had with the Lore College. Now I have divine counsel in my favor, and I can hardly present it as evidence. How frustrating. What? But that would mean— Oh, a tidy ending for the Sea Queen. But we'll write our own, right? This is it then. A dramatic end to a grand adventure. Won't the lore chanters be surprised? Remember me, my friend. That's all I ask. Everyone will know what you've done for us. I'll tell everyone I know. Not even the Sea Queen herself could stop me. Consul Hot never did get around to building a giant Adra statue. It'd be a shame to die confused. Forbidden knowledge does have a certain lasting appeal. Well, this is by far the best legal dispute I've ever been to. All that time fighting upon the sea. Oh, you must have some great stories. You ought to meet my sister. Where in Rawatai are you from, anyway? So, Maneha, I just— You handle yourself very well on the field. I know I'm a little young, but I've always been a quick study. Did you see that dwarven woman? Oh, hips like a church bell. As you like. She was making eyes at you the whole time, so I thought. They finished the Gate of Great Teeth, you know. Really? Maybe you ought to visit. A lot has changed since then. I like her already. What a sight. Up here it's all pretty as a painting. Fire, steam, and cannons to boot. Oh, I'm starting to like it up here. There it is. A few swings and this is all over. What a marvelous machine. Solid dwarven craftsmanship. We're not setting foot on that, are we? More eyeless. There's no end to them. They're spoiling for a fight. Fancy having a look elsewhere? Like taking a hatchet to a mountain. But we've done it all the same. By all the stars, what is that? These fumes. My lungs are burning. By Andra's giant sea beast! I've explored tombs less ominous than this. I know the kith up here can be a little strange, but something doesn't seem right. That is a very large plant. I never did like gardening. Andra's teeth. All those people. Well, they seem happy. I'm sure this will end well. Incredible. A titan right out of the stories. Oh, let's look inside. For once, I'm not terribly eager to see what's on the other side of that thing.